All right, what's up, everybody? So I don't know if you guys have heard, but Corin's World is taking over the world right now. So I only felt compelled to ask my good friend Matt, aka Quiet Giant, to come on. What is this? It's like my second official episode. So you could lie to me and say, "Have you been watching?"
I watched the first 10 minutes.
Oh, for real?
I did. And I have to say I agree with Molly on the whole no TV thing.
Oh shit.
It's just, dude, it just doesn't seem like a healthy option just to have the TV on like that.
I had so many people. Like I didn't think anybody was gonna hit me up. I had like my mom was texting me. I had Molly's like cousin who's got little kids watching it. So like I gotta watch like cursing now. I gotta like actually engage in conversations after podcasts. So like let me start off with this. So to give a little background on you, me and you are sort of famous on the YouTube world prior to this podcast right now. So for
Dude,
anybody
we have
that
a
doesn't,
lot of views.
we got a lot of views. So for anybody that doesn't know, and I'll let you explain it. So we went to our first college together. So we got our associate's degrees because we were probably always those slowest ones in the class. But we went to
Like
SUNY
2
Cobblesteel,
Yep.
and we made a YouTube video that went pretty viral. So I'll let you explain and what you remember about it, and then I'll chime in with little bits here and there.
Yeah. So we had, I think it was a video class together, or one of us had a video class, and we had to do some stupid video or whatever. We had to do we just decided to do Night at the Roxbury, SUNY Cobleskill edition. So just walking around that awful campus. I mean, our campus was like a farm. It was a farm, really.
Dude.
But just doing Night at the Roxbury stuff, pretty much.
But it wasn't even Night at the Roxbury stuff. So what I remember was we had a friend, Vlad, who I guess all of a sudden wanted to turn into Spike Lee, and like he wanted to make this epic video, and
Yeah.
so he asked us to be in it because we at the time were just like a Dumb and Dumber type of like, just I guess he just wanted two white boys, and he wanted someone to fill that. Like he had a vision for Night at the Roxbury, and he had all these crazy ideas. When he was pitching us the idea, he was like, dude, we're gonna go in town, and we're gonna go to the local spot, and we're gonna start doing this, and it's gonna be great, and then we're gonna edit that, and we're gonna do this. And me and you were just like, dude, can't we just do stuff around campus? Like very simple, like no one's gonna watch this thing, like it's for your drama class. Like so we ended up doing all this stuff. And from what I remember, and it's on YouTube, so people can find it. And like you said, it's got like almost 2,000 views on it, and it's SUNY Cobleskill Night at the Roxbury edition. I just looked it up before we came on.
Yeah, and it's 1.7K views. I like saying 1.7K because it sounds more than 1,700.
That's a good ass point. It sounds a lot better than 2,000. Yeah,
It sounds legit, right?
it does.
Now, I remember, so we did do this for Vlad. We did this for one of our friends, which is really nice of us. But he did have us trying to do everything all throughout that town, and we just shot him down. We're staying within like 100 feet.
Dude, he
of
wanted to turn it
wherever we're
into
at.
like a 3-week project, and like we'd go here, and then when we're like, from what I remember, it was like when you go back home over break, if you could get some. I was like, dude, like
His homework, his final project turned into homework for us. It's like, dude, we have other classes, man. We have 15 credits too.
So what we ended up doing was, and I didn't watch the whole video, but I don't even think there were any words in it. I think it was just playing the "What Is Love" song, the Night at the Roxbury famous like "What Is Love," and
Yeah.
all we did everywhere we went was the head nod.
Yeah, I mean, I made it through 2 minutes of it. I was like, all right, I've seen enough because I got it sent to me recently.
Oh really?
Yeah, Brennan sent it to me. It was
Yeah, I was
"Dude, you
gonna
have a
ask
lot
you.
of views on this.
I was gonna ask you, has anyone ever like either from that Cobleskill world or outside of that like asked you about it? Because like 1.7 thousand views is a lot of people to see that, and out of 1.7, there has to be someone who knows you, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, no one hit me up about it until like a week ago. When
That's
Brennan
wild.
was like, dude, remember this? How did I like forget this? Like, what is going on? It was awful to watch. But with that
Painful.
being said, after this, hopefully we get to that 2K mark.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, I'm blowing up right now, and you know people are gonna rock with you, and then like you're going to have to decide, like, damn, I'm going to have to comment back to some of these people because they're either, like, talking some smack about me or, like, they're saying some compliments about me. And then you go down a whole dungeon of, like, responding to one person, then, like, someone else will chime in that thing. It's the same thing with, like, Twitter or Facebook, you know?
I'm not going to lie. I already thought about the commenters already. It's like, I hope they're on my good side because, like...
Nah, you're good.
If they just come at me, I might just take that beating. Dude, like, here I am.
Dude, I was telling you before the podcast, people get at me because I look tired, because, like, for whatever reason, I stay hating on cats.
I thought of what to wear.
You look good.
I gotta look all right.
So, wait, let me tell you real quick. So, I actually have a mad funny story about the Cobleskill thing. We were in, it might have been, like, we were graduating or something like that. It was either graduation or, like, an awards banquet or something like that. And I kid you not, the president of Cobleskill came up to me and was like, are you Corin? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you did the Night at the Roxbury video, right? And I'm not making this up. And I was like, you didn't see that, did you? The president, like, it got all the way up to the president of Cobleskill, and he was like showing me love on it. And it was something that, like you said, like, I wasn't proud of it because we didn't put any time into it, you know? So, like, I was like, yeah, that was me. You know, I'm sorry to, you know, put the school in a bad light if you thought that. He was like, we loved it. We showed it around the office and, like, the secretaries. And I was like, damn, man, that's what's up.
And you were just like, yo, thanks for not expelling me after that.
I swear to God, I thought he was going to say, like, after he said you did the Night at the Roxbury thing, I thought he was going to say, you know, like, unfortunately, I can't give you your diploma. Like, Cobleskill was that, like, I don't know how there's some, like, colleges out there that are actually functioning like colleges. Like,
that exist.
They exist. They pay teachers. They pay, like, janitors. They pay cafeteria people because the kids, like, that go there, like, Cobleskill, don't get me wrong, I love this school and I will rep it till I die. But some of the teachers, like, you'd walk into class and this guy would look like he could fix your computer, like, right off the bat, but he's teaching you about, like, economics or, like, something. But at the end of the class, I mean, me personally, I would say to the teacher, like, hey man, like, I don't think I did well on that test. Is there any way you can sort of just, like, give me a better grade? And they would be cool with it. Like,
yeah, I remember I had a math teacher, and I was awful at math. Like, it was the very lowest level of math, and I just couldn't comprehend it at all. And he was a Cornell alum, and I remember telling him I was transferring to Cornell after this and needed a B, and he gave me a B. I didn't even apply to Cornell.
That's something to keep, though. I did the same thing. So when I was transferring to Cortland, there was, like, some sheet, and I doubt this is how it works now when you try to transfer. There's got to be, like, more computer-centric, like stuff behind the scenes, like, paperwork that you have to do. But I went into the admissions office, and I said to the people, I was like, you know, I want to transfer to Cortland. Like, what do I have to do? And they gave me, like, one piece of paper, and it said, like, name, whatever, like, what school you're transferring to, and then it said, like, your classes. So you just filled in your classes, and then, like, your teacher would just write a grade. So I went to all my teachers, and I was like, can you just put, like, A on this so, like, I could... if I'm not making this up, I think that's what it was. And then you just handed that back to, like, the school admissions office. They transferred that to Cortland, and they were like, wow, this kid's getting all A's? Okay, yeah, we'll accept him.
Yeah. I mean, I had something similar like that with Brockport because, you know, with the transferring, you got to make sure all your credits transfer over.
Mm-hmm. And
there was something where at SUNY Cobleskill, it was an anatomy and physiology, and it was a total of 3 credits that I took. That same anatomy and physiology, I can't even say it right, so I don't know how I passed it. That same A&P course at Brockport was 6 credits. And I was like, I'm going to have to take 2 of these now, like, to make up for, like, that Cobleskill one is not counting. I just went around, got every department head to sign off on it, and they were just cool with it. And it was like I skated by. I don't think that could happen now. It's just too many computers and technology, like you said.
That's what I'm saying. And it's, like, fascinating to me that, like, that's, like, we lived in that world before whatever kids are doing now. Like, they're doing like crazy technology stuff now that like if I were to legit get dropped back into a college campus right now, I would either fail every class or not know what time my class starts because like everything's on like I think when we were in college they were just starting like these like my web things where you can like do classes on like submit your homework online and all that stuff.
The portals, yeah.
Portals, like even this right now, I'm nervous that like something's not recording or like I'm the most technology not savvy person ever. So like when people get mad at kids for like being on their cell phone and like using their cell phones all the time, it's like if they don't do that, they're not going to know how to do anything that's required of them in high school probably now, college, and then even in the workforce. Like there's old ass people at my job that see me doing something and they're like, well, oh, how do you text that? Like how did you send that emoji or something like, you know, like just something so basic that I'm like, what? Like who, you don't know that?
Yeah, it's all very transferable, you know.
It's transferable, but like if you don't start learning it at a young age, it's a wrap. Like you'll be super lost.
Be lost.
So let me ask you real quick because I know you're a big pretty much diehard. Well, you're a baseball player, a very good baseball player, and you're a diehard Mets fan. Right. No. Don't sell yourself short, bro. You could maybe there's a baseball scout out there that remembers you from college or something like that that'll tune in one day.
It's not too late. Revive my career.
Not too late, bro. So you're a diehard Mets fan. You're from New York. So one, for anybody that doesn't know out there, there's a very, very good baseball player named Bryce Harper who signed a contract yesterday that is just absurd. It was 13 years, about $330 million.
Exactly that. Yep.
So he signed a 13-year contract with the Philadelphia Phillies, which is your team's biggest rival. So, one, he was already in your division, so that's that. What are your thoughts on, one, a contract like that, and two, are you nervous about him being in your division again?
I was ready for it. I was ready to go to battle with Bryce, just because if anyone doesn't know, like Bryce was on the Washington Nationals for years, so he's in the Mets division already. So I was never expecting him to ever leave that division.
Yeah.
I would have been jumping for joy if he went to LA, not going to lie. But I was ready for it. The only thing that hurt me was like 3 weeks ago when they signed they traded for a really good catcher, Real Muto from the Marlins.
Okay.
It was like, I was ready for Bryce. Now they have like the whole team is good. So that's what hurts a little bit.
So I don't know what the fuck's going on. So outside of him being on the team, what are your thoughts on a 13-year contract? Like, so to me, I hear a 13-year contract and automatically, like when I hear 13-year contract, that's guaranteed. There's no trade clause. Like you don't have to worry about anything. Like if I ever got one of those, my thoughts right after signing that would just be like, I could just chill now. Like.
Crazy, right?
It's absurd. What do you think about 13 years? Like nobody knows what they're going to be doing in 13 years.
And it's hard for a team to be that good for that long. So you got to think the Phillies are going to suck at some point during those 13 years. And he's there because there is no opt-out clause. So he can't opt out. He can't say, hey, we're 8 years in. You guys are not doing what I asked. This is not working. Trade me. He can't say that. But it is a good deal for the Phillies in terms when you just look at the fact that $25 million a year. Don't look at the years. When it's $25 million a year, it's doable, and it's going to be doable as these contracts get bigger and more crazy as time goes on. So it is a great deal for them. It's even better that he didn't decide to opt out, which is crazy on his part, in my opinion.
So what do you mean by that? Like, so at the end of his contract, he'd have a choice to leave, right?
Yeah, well, no. Like, usually these guys, they'll have, you get the 13-year contract. After 6 years, you get that opt-out clause.
Oh.
After 6 years, you can say, hey, Phillies, it's been real. I'm done. I'm going to opt out and go try somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or renegotiate that contract for even more money. If he's killing at age 32, by the time that 6-7 years from now,
They'll be giving
you don't
out
know if
500
guys are
million.
making 40-50 million a year. So he is kind of taking that out of his hands, which I give him credit, because he was just like, I just want to be in one city and I want to do it the right way, which is like, doesn't mean he can't be traded or he won't be traded, but it is out of his hands.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I didn't look at it that way either. Like, I was looking at it as, I mean, yeah, he's taken, don't get me wrong, the guy's making $330 million, so I have, like, no sympathy for him or like, for the team or for his decision or anything like that. Like, that's an absurd amount of money. But the fact that, like, so I live in Chicago now. I want to eventually, like, move from here or, like, like, do something else. But, like, the fact that for 13 years he's like, locked himself into a decision makes you think, like, okay, maybe he is a little bit dedicated to, like, the team or something like that. Because, like I said, people always want to do other things. You can't, know what you're, like, in 6 years you could be like, oh, somebody passed away, I'm going to move to Florida because, like, I got to be closer to this person or something like that. 13 years is a long time to be locked into one spot. And us as human beings just don't like being tied down to anything for that amount of time,
I know. I mean, money talks. Like,
yeah.
I could do a lot of things for 13 years if you give me the right price.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I don't think anything's off the table for that kind of money.
That's true.
But in 13 years, because he's from Vegas, a Las Vegas expansion team could literally happen within that time. It's that far away. Yeah. So
you're a teacher, phys ed teacher. So if your school came to you, so you're in the city, so I give you a lot of props, because hopefully after I finish this statement, you could tell me some crazy stuff that you've seen or have had to deal through. Because my brother was a teacher in the Bronx, and some of the stories that he's told me are just like when I say mind blowing, it's like it's beyond that. So if your school came to you tomorrow and was like, Matt, we're going to give you a 20-year contract, but you got to stay at this school, but, like, you have a guaranteed contract, and depending, like, the money was decent, would you take it?
The money's decent? No.
Really? No.
No. The money would have to. I saw your face when you said the money's decent. Nope.
No.
Okay. I'm out.
Wow.
My palms are already sweating at that question. 20 years. What the?
That's crazy. So let's follow that up. So I'll lead with one story. So my brother taught in the South Bronx for, I think, about, like, 3 years or something like that. So my brother, I think you've seen him or know him or have met him, but he's like me, but just stockier and bigger. So when he worked at this school, they didn't really have security, or, like, if they did, it was just, like, someone from the neighborhood who knew all the kids that, like, would never, get involved with anything. So whenever there was a big fight, they would always look to him to break it up, or, like, be the one who's like pushing everybody away. And in his mind, he's like, I'm not doing that, because, like, if one of these kids, like, says I push them, or, like, I end up, like, pushing too hard and I hit a kid, like, it's a wrap for me. So I'm staying out of this. I'm going nowhere near a fight. I'll let them fight to the death, like, because that's not my responsibility. So he would call me, and it would be almost either weekly or bi-weekly, and he would put his phone up to, like, his window room, like, where the recess was, and, like, he'd be like, oh, this is a huge fight right now. And, like, the kids would just be like, you'd hear them scrapping. They'd be like, yo, knock him down, like, and he'd be like, another fight. And that was just, like, every week.
Yeah, no, it's very possible, like, right in the middle of this right here, I could walk outside and we might get something here live. But we have a lot of security guards.
Oh, okay.
So they don't want us touching any, obviously.
Good.
It gets a little crazy. It gets to the point where, something happens in front of you. You have no choice but to hold someone back.
Yeah.
Yeah. When a male hits a female, you got to just hold the male back.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, listen, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You're 16. So
I feel like there's, like, no
tough.
rules a little bit down there. It's like the Wild West at some points, right?
It is. We have standoffs. If they don't feel like doing anything, they're not. And it's, we try, and it is what it is. And it's like, they want to go out in the hallways and watch a fight, they will. They're not going to ask you to leave.
Yeah. That's so crazy, because it's like, there's a school like yours where, I mean, like, I'm like, you guys are great teachers. You're all about it and you're doing the best you can do. And then there's schools like where my brother is at now, which is just like very by the books, where it's like if a kid were to get up and go out into the hallway, like he'd go to the principal, like they'd call his parents, they'd get in trouble, and it'd be over for that kid. Like he'd have no college to, like, colleges looking at him. So they're like, and this is how it is as a society too, is like there's kids coming out of your school that have been through this grinder of like seeing a fight in school. The teacher like could be cursing or just like a cooler teacher. And then you've got like kids coming out of those schools that are like more by the books, more like, hey, how you doing? Like, you know, shaking your hands. And those two people clashing, and you're going to just get like either disagreements or like, you know, jealousy or, you know, all of these things that like, it's just wild to me as someone who's not a teacher to see those two different dynamics. Cause like I'll watch one of these viral videos of like a teacher who like the kids are just picking on him and like just like throwing shit at him. And then the teacher will just get gangster and like stand up and like push the kid or snuff him or something. And like, I'm like, oh, that's wild. Like, how could he do that? But then on the flip side, you're watching that video like, I feel that dude.
Yeah, that's how my mindset has changed because, like, 5-6 years ago, it's like, oh man, that's crazy. I could never see that happening. Now it's like, damn, that might be tomorrow for someone here. that I might see that firsthand. So it gets a little crazy. That's why I probably wouldn't sign that 20-year deal.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, so the main reason I wanted to talk to you was because you're a fashionista. You've got some swag. You like, we have a text thread, me, you, Little Bronx, and you guys are heavily involved in like the new shoes that come out, when they're dropping, what's cool, what's not cool, and recently I sort of felt like I have fallen off the fashion like map just because. So I was at All-Star Weekend and I got gifted a free pair of Adidas, and when I saw the Adidas box right away, like the dude was handing them out like they were like Big Macs, like just like. It was crazy. I was like, yo, you got a size 10? He was like, I got a 9.5. I was like, okay, yes, let's take it. So he hands me the shoes, and already I was like, I don't care what these are. I'd rock them. I'd wear them like they're from an All-Star event, so they got to be cool. So I'm going to show you them, and I need to know your reaction, what you think. Would you rock them? Is this what people are rocking now?
And I haven't seen these yet.
You haven't seen them?
Yo, I don't hate them.
You don't. So look. So these are called the Adidas Next.
Yep.
So here was my thought on them. At first I was like, I could rock these, whatever, you know. There's no laces, which I don't know if things are doing that now, and it was impossible to get my foot in here. So tell me your thoughts. Is this what's in?
Not necessarily. They are going with this, like the shoe sock way a little bit, where it's there are no laces and stuff like that. That looks like that's got to be just a ball only shoe. Like you can't, you know what I mean? You can't really probably wear that outside or wear that around. Like that's not going to probably match any outfit.
No.
And it's going to look a little awkward and bulky, but I don't see why if you can get your foot in them, I don't see why you can't play ball in them, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And they look like they could just like give you that ankle support and stuff for basketball. But
they'll definitely give you ankle support. They'll give you ankle suffocation too on these mad boys. But
yeah, you might not get them off. You might have to cut them off.
These are one-time use only.
Yeah, that's why they were free. One-time use only. You just cut them off your feet as you're done.
For real. So to that point, I wanted to ask you a couple just fashion, maybe sneaker questions, because I was huge into sneakers growing up as a kid. I'm sure you were, and now you are too, as well, with like the Nike Off-Whites or whatever like that. I wanted to know, one, what's the most you ever dropped on a pair of sneakers? And then maybe I'll ask my second question, but I phrased it like I was about to ask you multiple questions.
I was ready. To just store this all in my brain. I was like, I'm not going to even remember the first question. Let's see. I want to say I'm not crazy with spending money.
Okay.
So probably the most I've ever done is $220.
Okay.
That typical price. Once it gets in the 300 range, I'm usually out.
Yeah.
But $220 is usually the range for Yeezys. A lot of off-white Nike collabs are 220 or even 180, which I like. You know, if you keep it under the $2 that's always nice.
Yeah.
But I'm more about, I mean, if you're getting in the 300 range,
that's crazy.
That means you're probably like getting from a second market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not getting it straight from Nike. There are some shoes that obviously they do sell for that right off retail, but for the most part, like, to keep it nice and stylish, you get anything under 200 and you're all right.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on, because like there's people that listen right now that probably have no idea what the sneaker like industry is or what it's about. Like, what is it to you? Like, what interests you in you know, either paying that much or like entering a raffle or doing something like, because like my whole mindset is flipped on sneakers right now. Like I'm dead ass. I'll go to Kohl's, like I'll TJ Maxx has bangers, Marshalls has bangers, and like I'm at a mentality where it's like I'll go to the Nike outlet, and unless it has that big black with the yellow writing on it, like the like $29 and below, I take pride in like trying to buy like $25 or less sneakers now. So, like,
I know.
I don't like, and I'm not saying you in particular, but I don't know, like, understand, like, when Bronx is texting us, like, trying to get in a raffle, and, like, he might have to drive up to Martha's Vineyard or something like that to get a pair. Like, what, like, why? Like, is it for, like, girls? Is it just for the swag effect? Like, what do you think?
I think it's that exclusive factor, and I think that's why I don't like it as much anymore either, is because it's like, Kanye can make anything, and if it looks garbage, they're still going to eat it up because there's only so many pairs and they're in a raffle. So I think with the marketing that these companies do, it's smart on their part, but a lot of it's a lot of kids now.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of kids. Like, I go back and forth with it. I don't get the rarest pairs, especially lately. I've just been rolling with Vans.
Yep.
Like, just $60, $80 Vans, and I'm good. I could just get it online. It comes me like no problems.
Yep.
So I do think it's that rarity factor for them.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree with your point. Like, I think like a young rapper, like one of these little whatevers, or like, you know, like Fresh Boy, like all these young rappers that I've never heard of that have like 3 million followers on Instagram and 6 million followers, they can legit like wear no pants and like cut half of their, like, they could wear like some tighty whities onto stage, and like you would see that, you would see it in the hood, like, or like, and then it would trickle down to the suburbs, because like I'll give the hood the credit they deserve. They're the trendsetters. Like, we steal everything from them, so like they can do whatever they want, like a popular rapper and kids who look up to them, and you probably see it down in the city. Like, you'll see a kid doing something, they're like, why is he wearing his boxers like on the outside of his jeans? And be like, oh, young Flyboy did it on stage the other night.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I remember I worked security at Off-White when it first started. About this was down in Soho about a year and a half ago, and some rapper comes in named Rich the Kid, and everyone's like employees come up to me, just to let you know that's Rich the Kid, and I was like, oh, what?
Like, who is he?
He's an adult. He's not a kid. Like,
he was older?
He had like security. I was like, what is going on? It's like, and you know, you see kids take to, you know, rappers like that based on fashion, and Kanye was right. I think he said it like a long time ago. He was like, rappers are the new rock stars now. Yeah. Because like in the 90s, rock stars had that kind of fashion statement that made an impression on the youth. Yep. Now it's solely hip hop.
Yeah, you know what's also fascinating to me too is like that guy Rich the Kid or whatever like that. He's probably got like whatever 4 million followers on Instagram and stuff like that. If he walked by like the majority of people in New York City, or if he went to like wherever, like not Chicago, maybe like Iowa or Nebraska, like no one would know who he is.
Yeah.
Like nobody.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true.
And it's like I've seen that, like, you know, that's how social media is now. Like, you know everybody from social media, but if they were standing right next to you, you'd have no idea who this dude was. But you've got people telling you while you're working, like, yo, that's Rich the Kid, man. And you're like, like this dude, like he looks like like I just saw him at McDonald's 5 minutes ago or something, you know, like.
Yeah, no, he literally he was like 5'6".
That's
He was just like this guy's up to my rib cage here. Like, who is this dude?
Yeah, that's crazy to me because like people, I think just people are groupies like when it comes to that shit. Like, and like I give you credit, I give a lot of people credit who like seek out, like my boy Jay. You might have met him, JR. He does like runs.
Yeah. Yep.
He'll seek out music people. And then like he'll hit like, or I'll hit him up and I'm like, yo, who's hot on like music right now? I need like to listen to some songs. He'll send me like people that are low key or under the radar, like someone like if Rich the Kid was actually a good musician, I've never heard of him. He'd be like, Rich the Kid is hot, like his music's good, and he'll like him because his music. But like he won't be like, he probably wouldn't be waiting in line at like a sneaker store to meet a 5'6" dude who is just a regular ass dude, you know.
No, I think we're all kind of past that at that point. But when you are a kid like that, like you know,
yeah, that's
you will
a good
do
point.
that.
Yeah, I guess if I was a kid, I'd probably be looking up to people too.
Yeah, no, that's their audience.
What's up, dude?
Speakers in.
He doesn't know he's about to just get like spotted by like 2,500 people on YouTube.
Yeah, hopefully he does the right thing right now.
Yeah, for real. Like people are gonna be like the dude with the green shirt. Like, oh man.
Stands out with that too.
Yeah, for real. So quickly, I'll run through a couple trends that I had written down, and I just wanted to hear your thoughts throughout the years. And you tell me if it was hot, if it was not hot, should the trend come back into style? Just tell me your thoughts on it. So I'll start young. So when we were in like middle school, and I texted you about this one, there was that boy band, like blonde tip hair. You know, we put blonde tips in our hair because Backstreet Boys had it, NSYNC had it. Is that hot? Can we bring that back?
Yo, I thought about not the tips, but just full-blown bleach blonde.
Oh, damn.
I've seen some people with that, and I don't hate that.
For real?
I think I got to be somebody to do that. Can't do that in this moment right now. But I've seen dudes with that, yeah.
That's wild. I actually did see one person with that.
Yeah.
He pulled it off because he was like a good-looking dude. I like, no, Mo, you could probably pull it off. You're a good-looking dude. If I did that, people would just be like, I think he's probably going to commit suicide like tomorrow or something like that. Like, or do like some school shooting type of something.
Everywhere you go, security is patting you down.
Oh, 100%. Whereas if you did it, they'd be like, oh, he must be a soccer player or something like that. And it's like some European style look or something. Like, there's certain people that could do it. I think my limits are just like the front tips to let people know, like, all right, I'm putting my toes in the water a little bit. Whereas there's other people, like good-looking dudes like you, that could just do the whole shit.
Being tall helps.
Tall helps
definitely helps. You can't be like just yay high and just like you're gonna look like you're ready to do something bad.
Yeah, no, that's a good ass point. All right, so blonde tips are, so we're okay with them, right? That was a trend that like we sort of were okay on that one.
I'm cool with them. I had blonde tips, and I also I had them like redone, and my mom was gonna do them for the first time, so I was like, yeah, just do it however you want. And she messed up, and it started running down my whole head. Oh. So I had to get the M&M, which is what I wanted, and she didn't want to do that.
Oh, that's gangster. So it worked out well.
Like, yes, and she was so upset, and I just looked like Eminem for the next 2 months, and I loved it.
Oh, okay. So that one, okay. I'm gonna jump a little bit here. So this is probably high school, but Ed Hardy. Were you ever down on Ed Hardy?
No, and I thank God that I wasn't. Right? I thank God that I wasn't. Were you?
I'm so happy. I mean, like, so here's my thing, and we're talking as like two New Yorkers, but like, there's people probably listening in, I don't know, wherever, like Oklahoma or something like that, that Ed Hardy was probably from Oklahoma or something like that, like some weird spot that like we just took, like we didn't wear it, but everyone in New York was wearing that like trucker Ed Hardy hat, you know? So like they know him as like probably a farmer or whatever the hell he did. We know him as just like some awkward stage of like fashion, you know?
Ed Hardy is a very Midwestern name.
It is, right?
There are a million Ed Hardys in the Midwest.
100%. And like, I hope to God that there's an Ed Hardy listening right now that like either was too young to know about it, that now people are like questioning him if he's the fashionista guy. But like, so Ed Hardy was good. I'm happy that you didn't rock Ed Hardy. Ed Hardy, I never understood that one. I never understood.
No.
It's just fascinating to me that blew up too. Like Ed Hardy was a dude. Like Tommy Hilfiger, at least their stuff was stylish. Ed Hardy was just like a blip on the radar, you know?
Rhinestones on a shirt should never be popular.
God. Oh hell no.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, so we'll end that one, and which we'll jump into, and I'm curious your thoughts on this one because you're from Long Island, and Long Island is like tough, gritty. A lot of wrestlers come from Long Island, like just hard nosed, like gangster ass people. What are your thoughts on Affliction?
I mean, did you like anyone who ever wore an Affliction or Tap Out shirt? Or were they the biggest bullies in your school?
They were the biggest bullies, but here's my thing. So I'm from Westchester, which is like upper New York a little bit. And I would say that Westchester is probably a little more like the parents are probably more protective. It's a little bit like maybe like preppier or whatever like that. Whereas Long Island, we always looked at it as like the people who wore the Affliction shirts, like just gritty, like wrestler dudes that would like beat the hell out of you. And like that was like, so I never could wear an Affliction shirt because I would have gotten called out for being like, yo, you're from Westchester, dude. Like you're going to the mall on Friday and Saturday. Like we're going to like the Coliseum to watch like some Long Island wrestling match, and like everybody's wearing Affliction shirts where it's acceptable. So I think you have the cred to wear like, I guess what I'm saying is I'm jealous of people who were allowed to wear Affliction shirts because you knew that they were going to kick your ass.
Really? I mean, I also thought it was a lot of fake tough guys.
That too. I mean, like there were probably posers wearing a lot of Affliction, but like a lot of these UFC videos you see, a lot of these like just brawl videos, the dude's wearing an Affliction shirt.
Yeah, you know that there's a chance of someone fighting.
Oh, 100%.
And it's crazy. It's crazy because I went to a UFC event at the Barclays, a little less than 2 years ago at this point, and there were a lot of Tap Out and Affliction shirts still.
Tap Out too. Yeah.
It's like, good to see these guys still exist.
Yes.
I thought they all just like magically vanished off the radar. No, you go to a UFC match or an event and they're still there.
Oh, that's the official wardrobe of UFC is Affliction and Tap Out. Like, and it might actually be that too, but like it's the unofficial official like wardrobe of what you have to wear to a UFC match.
I remember I walked in to get a few drinks at a bar nearby the Barclays beforehand. I walk in and I see a couple Affliction shirts, a couple Tap Out shirts, and then a couple shirts from their local MMA gym, jiu-jitsu gym, whatever. And I just looked, shit. I was like, damn. I was like, one drink and done. I got to get in the arena. I don't want to watch a fight right now.
No.
I'm going to go watch one.
Nope.
I'm going to go watch 10 in there.
Yep.
And I don't want to be a part of one right now.
Nope.
And it's just everyone with a stern look on their face. Like, yeah, try something, guy.
Hell yeah. That's one of those concourses where, like, if you bump into someone, it's like you automatic, like, I'm sorry, you got it. Like, I apologize. Like, and again, you're tall. For me, like, people, like, mess with me just because whatever, I got spiky hair or something like that. And, like, I like, if I'm at a UFC event, they're probably like, oh, this kid probably thinks he can fight. Like, that's why he's into this. Like, so I'm always on, like, the defensive. Like, if I bump into something, like, my eyes are straight against the wall when I'm peeing. Like, make sure that I'm not looking at anybody's junk. Like, it's a wrap, like, because someone in one of those shirts will just turn and snuff me in the face for no reason.
Well, yeah, no, I'm like that, too, because I can't be, 6'2", 180, whatever it is, getting leg locked by a 5'6" guy who's just biting my ankles and just I'm crying. I can't have that.
All right, so
I'll
I'll
have
ask
that
you,
on my resume.
Yeah, no, that would be a bad look. The Jersey Shore, when the dude who snuffed Snooki, he was a teacher too. Do you remember that?
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. Yeah. But that guy went to, I think he went to the same college as me, Cortland, but he was a teacher and just straight snuffed her in the face. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think he had one of those shirts on,
too.
It was probably Ed Hardy.
Yeah, he probably had a Hardy shirt. All right, so I'll ask you about one more, and then, like, we'll definitely do more conversations because hopefully, like, people are, into hearing what you're talking about. But the last I'll finish on, and this is probably have to be a two-part conversation. But Yeezys, is Yeezy still hot? Are people still rocking with Yeezy? He sort of got a little bit more normal now that I think he disconnected from Trump or whatever. But where are we at with Yeezy?
Yeah, I'm in on Yeezys.
Okay.
He's always, people want to trash on his shoes a lot. And I've always thought that they were, for the most part, good shoes.
Uh-huh.
He's had some poor looking models, but the 350s are still classic.
Yeah.
And he's making them more available now than ever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he does more releases, which is pretty cool. Like a normal dude, he can get them finally and not have to wait in line with a bunch of 14-year-olds. But he has some ugly ones, obviously, but you're gonna miss.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss. But the 350s are still classics, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah. I was on board for the Nikes. I'm still trying to find a pair of those original Nikes, the gray ones with like the little bit of pink on them, I think.
The gray, yeah. And I've talked about this with my brother, too. Like, that Nike Yeezy collab was awesome.
Yeah.
And they're tough to get.
Mm-hmm.
They're really, they're going to set you back a little bit.
Oh, okay. So I'm out.
But I do think, check out the Victor Cruz Nike collab.
Okay.
That one of his shoes kind of looks like has a similar vibe to that.
Oh, for real? Okay.
And it's obviously cheaper.
Okay.
So that's what I would go with.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, so we're in on Yeezy. All right, so I'll end this here because I appreciate you taking some time. I know you're at school right now. But no, this was awesome, dude. Like I said, I hope this recorded because if not, we're just gonna be asked out and we'll have to do it again. But
we'll do it again, yeah.
For sure. But yeah, so check out Matt and me originally on SUNY Cobleskill Night at the Roxbury. I want to see 1.7 go up to like 4,000 or something like that because we got some fire on that video.
Checking.
Well, I'll check too. All right, Matt. I appreciate it, dude. So we'll definitely come back and talk. So we're in on these.
Yeah, gym only.
Okay, gym only. We got it.
Gym only. Yeah.
All right, Matt. Appreciate it, dude.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks. I'll talk to you later, bro.